Yeah,
Like
just the other day.
yeah, they recorded it in some manner and then they put it on Twitter. But
Yeah,
it
the guy
doesn't really.
posted it to his Facebook page.
Yeah, his Facebook page. It doesn't really take a genius to see that inevitably it's going to happen. Inevitably, it's going to happen that one day in the near future, exactly like and we will see in real time this happen, uh, and probably a lot sooner than we want it to happen. Probably it could happen tomorrow.
Right.
And
I mean, this happened on Skype not too long ago. Does anybody remember this happening on Skype or FaceTime, whatever it was? There was a. I know I'm going to get the details of this wrong, but it was a rapper or some musician was watching, and the guy had been telling him that his girlfriend had cheated on him, and the guy that was watching was telling him, just calm down, it's not that big of a deal. And the guy I guess at some point brandished a weapon and ended up killing his girlfriend while it was some well-known artist. I don't remember who it was, but it was a well-known artist that was actually watching. And here this guy kills his girlfriend in front of a friend of his. And I guess it wasn't the actual shooting wasn't on Skype or FaceTime, whatever it was. But you could hear the gunshots and stuff, and it's just freaking insanity. I just don't understand people these days.
The question is, so because of what happened in Virginia, where essentially what you suggest happened in this incident did happen, but not without the social media aspect of it. Have we entered a new age where we will in fact see in real time murderers commit their murders on a regular basis?
Right. I hope not.
Well, the thought that comes to me is that there's criminals that are willing to broadcast their crimes for wanting to become internet famous in a sense. Because they know that it's going to attract a lot more attention. It's like that drive to be popular and famous and that willingness to do something dangerous. Viewership.
I didn't hear you. You broke up.
Can you guys hear me all right?
You're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I was saying that there's so many people that want to be internet famous that some people are willing to commit crimes and broadcast those crimes.
But how much of it is that they're not so much internet famous is that they just want to because they want to record their crimes as they happen for psychological reasons.
Well, they could do that with any other medium. They could do it with just their phone. But like you're saying, are they choosing to use a live streaming platform in order to gain notoriety?
Yeah, and I have two questions. One, what if ISIS started to use Periscope to record its murders? And two, what about a hostage situation where the killer said, "Okay, these are my demands, and if you don't meet them, I will. If you don't watch me torture these victims, I'm going to do this or that."
Well, I hope not, but
aren't both of those possibilities almost inevitable now?
I don't know if it's inevitable, but it's certainly possible.
Yeah, I would say I would say possible.
Yeah, I don't know if it's inevitable.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they seem to get the attention that they want through the mediums that they're already using.
Right.
So I
Because
think it's unlikely that they would go onto like Periscope or Blab or something like that to gain more attention. I mean, those aren't as popular mediums as of yet.
because I had an idea for a movie script, and it would be like a Saturday Night Live TV show is hijacked by terrorists, and they force people to watch the hostage situation in real time. And I didn't realize that it wouldn't be TV, it would be the internet. Because I'm afraid that that's going to happen. That say ISIS strikes somewhere, like just imagine ISIS strikes in Iraq. I mean, they have internet access in Iraq, and ISIS takes over and starts to, live stream beheadings.
I hope not, because I'll definitely lose all faith in humanity at that
Well,
point.
guess what?
Golly.
Guess what? Be prepared. Because ISIS is social media savvy, and
yeah, they are.
And they don't have any compunction about anything. So.
Mm-mm. All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna hop out. I got some errands to run this morning.
Okay,
So
thank you for talking to us.
Catch y'all later. Thanks for having me, and just make sure you leave the world a little bit nicer than you found it this morning.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye, guys.
Okay, so it's me and Shelton.
Yeah,
can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. There's a little bit of a lag time, but I can hear you overall pretty well.
Okay, so what really struck me about this was that it wasn't just these two gunmen that wanted to hunt down their victim with a gun, for fooling around with one of their girlfriends for notoriety, but it was the fact that all these people that were watching this on Periscope were egging and encouraging their crime.
Yeah, I maybe some of it is that they didn't know if it was real or not, and they just were having fun. But I think that we definitely have reached a point where because as the technology becomes more mainstream, it can be used for great good and it can be used for great bad. And a lot of crazy people are going to a lot of crazy people are going to do crazy things with it, and it's a matter of Periscope managing that. How are you going to manage it? How are you going to control it?
Well, Periscope, I feel, needs moderators. I know they're a small team of about a dozen people. I think they need to enlist moderators, people that basically watch through, different broadcasts and are willing to report, suspect stuff from happening. Like, I know when I see any inappropriate content on Periscope, I mean, I report it, whether it's sexual or it's a crime or people doing drugs they shouldn't be doing, that type of thing. Like, if I would have seen the broadcast, I would have reported it right off the bat, with snapshots and everything. But the fact is, the police didn't find out about this till like a day later.
So can you tell me what happened? Like, why didn't they kill the person?
Oh, okay. I'll start off with the whole story. This happened in Sacramento, and I believe it happened on Wednesday. And what happened was two men decided to broadcast themselves, and it was a 1-hour broadcast. And they were talking about how this victim fooled around with one of their girlfriends, and basically they were showing off the gun that they were going to hunt down this victim with. And they went down to this guy's apartment, but thankfully he wasn't home.
They even walked on the ledge to the window.
They even walked on the ledge to the window to see if there was anybody home, but there was nobody home. So thankfully nobody got hurt.
They showed all the marijuana.
But the police eventually a day later found out about it, and because someone shared a link with the news, and they made 2 arrests.
Also marijuana.
And they also showed off this huge marijuana crop that they had.
There's a big difference between murder and marijuana. So
yeah, I'm just trying to recite everything I remember from the story. Yeah. Yeah. So during the entire broadcast, I mean, people were just encouraging them and just egging them on, and you know, like you were bringing up the point that maybe some people thought this was like, you know, fake, or somebody just went through the trouble of trying to create like their own horror movie, so to
snuff
speak.
film.
Yeah, but you would think that somebody would err on the side of caution and report it anyways, just in case.
Nobody cares. That's the thing I've learned about this life of ours. Is nobody gives a shit about anything, and they don't. All they want is entertainment, and all they want is like, because I try to use this service to report news, and nobody pays any attention to me. Like, everybody wants to talk about what they had for dinner, and nobody wants to talk about news. So that's why this was intriguing to me, because this is my kind of subject. So.
Yeah, and one of my other points is this reach for notoriety. You know, this you know, because a lot of people have a desire to be like internet famous, right?
I don't think being internet famous in itself is bad. It's just I hate it when people try to game the system. Like, I'll give you an example. In the last 24 hours, some attractive women have started to use this service. Demonstrably attractive women have started to use the service, and that changes the dynamic of things, because, you know, that an attractive woman garners attention by herself, just being attractive, and ultimately really attractive women will come in and would maybe even have a fan base, and they will dominate the service to such an extent that, like, whoever gets to be in the chat with them on video will have status, and there will be even blabs about how to get a cute girl to let you chat with her. So you have status, and you can sell your personal brand, and you can sell your products. I don't have a problem. Like, if the woman in question can produce quality content, I don't have a problem with that. Like, I think this woman named Melissa. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman, but she's got a great personality, and she produces quality content. And so, you know, she's just like a TV newscaster in that respect, just on a micro level. So I don't have a problem with that. It's the people that aren't producing quality content, who aren't producing content at all, and all they want to be is internet famous for no reason. That bothers me. So.
Yeah. I mean, talking on the side of like inappropriate content, you know, I've seen periscopes of people having sex, you know, on Periscope, and immediately there will be like 800 people watching, and the thing is, the number of people that encourage it, you know, but people forget that there's children that also access these multimedia apps. And I mean, this kind of stuff is highly inappropriate for children to be watching. You know, it seems that there's those people that feel that it's okay to broadcast anything. You know, that literally anything goes, and you can broadcast any aspect of your life. And I think there's a lack of common sense there.
There's a lack of basic common sense, and people are learning how to use the service, these services, and this is cutting edge stuff. Like, just on paper, it's a recipe for disaster, because you're putting into the hands of the masses, the dumbass masses, a wonderful technology where you can live stream anything. Like people are using Periscope for some really cool stuff. Like there was a series about some refugees from I think it was Syria or something trying to get into Germany. I saw that was really cool. That was a really great way of using the service. And breaking news, I think that's another great way to use the service. But this business of just using it for self gratification and self promotion and being internet famous for no reason whatsoever other than that you're a beautiful woman, that is just really annoying. So this service requires that Blab requires that you have some ability to generate quality content in the sense that you can get people to talk about something, and that changes the dynamic greatly. So that, like I keep saying, Melissa, I think we're going to hear a lot of, in the near term at least, we could really hear a lot on this service. We could hear a lot about Melissa because she's kind of the ideal blabber. She's a beautiful woman. She can produce quality content, and she's personable. Like, she's friendly, and so I think that's the next level, next stage in this very, very small service, is that for a while at least, the cute chick, the hot blonde effect, if you will dominate. Who is, it won't be the personal branders. It will be just organically attractive women who have great personalities who will dominate the service. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but I don't completely agree. I think, of course, like sex really sells on social media. I mean, we've definitely seen it with Periscope, and especially like when a 16-year-old girl goes on Periscope and starts being overtly flirtatious, and then tons of middle-aged men will jump on and start flirting with her, which is highly inappropriate. I mean, everybody would be saying, "What's a 40-year-old doing flirting with a 16-year-old?" But at the same time, I mean, I think it gives them an edge in grabbing that original attention. But I've also seen scopes like that also drop in retention and drop in viewership as soon as people realize that the content is lacking.
Yeah, and that's the crux of the matter. I think that on Periscope, Kim Kardashian will inevitably be on Periscope and make and add to her empire, and lots of people will watch Kim Kardashian just walk around her house on Periscope. But Kim Kardashian will not be famous on Blab if it goes mainstream, because she cannot carry on a conversation, and she cannot, just because she happens to be the moderator of, because the service is easy enough that she could do it. Just sitting there and staring at her, is not going to be all that much fun. But on Periscope it is. So,
Well, I personally am not interested in Kim Kardashian.
I'm not either. So, I'm giving you the nightmare scenario.
Right. But I think there's enough people like me that are far more interested in philosophical debates and deep talk and learning from experts. Like my two favorite scopers, on Periscope is one that's a physicist that takes on questions about physics, and another one is a neuroscientist who takes on questions about the brain. And I definitely don't watch them for their sex appeal, but far more so for their expertise. And I think there's a lot of people like me.
Yeah, I think the issue is the services are very small right now, and think about what's going to happen is both Periscope and Blab have the potential to be just as mainstream as Twitter or Facebook, and as such, they will have the dynamic of a mainstream media. So if you wish to watch the neurosurgeon talk about neurosurgeon stuff, you can. But most people, like the average person, will gravitate towards the BS of Kim Kardashian doing her thing because that's what they're trained to do from television. So Kim Kardashian will leverage her brand from television into live streaming, and I think really what will probably happen relative to Blab if it becomes really mainstream is like entertainment television. See, that's the thing. Journalists will use it so that you would have your host and then 2 or 3 guests, and that's where the concepts of the traditional concepts of, like, it'll be the host, then 2 commentators, and maybe a rotating person in the middle, in the 4th block. That's kind of like taking traditional TV, making it interactive television, and so that's where you would have like your entertainment chit chat, and you would be Access Hollywood. There would be 2 people that were commenting on the news, and then maybe Kim Kardashian herself would be, hey, how are you doing? And then people would watch that, and they would. The paradigm that they're used to is television, and that's this, but it would be interactive. So you might be able to. People would be chatting on the right, and then one person could hop in. You as the moderator would say, okay, somebody asked a great question, jump in and talk. So journalists of all stripe will probably flock to this service, and it's just inevitable that it will happen. But that's not going to preclude people like me who want to use it for news too from just using it in an anonymity.
Well, it's if you look at, I think it depends on what perspective you look at it too. Like if you look at YouTube, for example, and you look at like the YouTube stars, the ones that garner the most viewership per episode that they do. Sure, they're generating like 500,000 views per episode, or 100,000 views. But when you look at the total viewership of everybody that's watching YouTube, they don't even make up 1% of YouTube's complete viewership. So the fact is that even though more people are watching them compared to the average YouTuber, on average, far more people are not even watching them than there are people actually watching them.
Yeah, but see, that's a matter of the technology isn't it's still working its way towards being mainstream, and it's just again, I have to get back to the to something that really bothers me. And okay, I just didn't hear about it. Jump in and let's talk. The personal branders who are so excited about Blab and who think that they will make their millions by just like being vacuous and just having a brand, they drive me insane because they're not doing anything. But like women like Melissa, as I keep saying, she's got it. Like, she's got the chops to do something really great because she's generating content, and all she's doing is just what's traditionally done in TV news. That's just on a small scale. And right now, right now. Okay. So what's going to happen is I am trying to use this service to report news because that's what I love to do. But I have no illusions that I'm going to be internet famous or any kind of famous, because inevitably the people that got good grades in college, that are shaved and maybe much more kempt than I am, they'll jump in and it'll be moot. but for the time being, I'm like one of the few people trying to practice journalism on here in a serious manner, and nobody pays me any attention. Like nobody at all. I interviewed another of the attractive women on the service. What's her name? Chelsea. I interviewed Chelsea, and like virtually nobody. Like that was the only reason anybody watched my show this morning, was that I was interviewing Chelsea, and but it was journalism. I interviewed a notable person, a celebrity, on Blab, and that I was doing for journalism, and that's content, and the service is like really obviously really small. Like there's 6 people watching right now. 2 of them are us, but eventually there will be a tipping point where like lots of people surge into the system, because I'm trying to get people I know to participate. But eventually, there's going to be a tipping point, and when that surge happens, then the people who are like suit and tie people, those people are really smart, and like they network. Like the people that like don't like people like me will come in and ruin everything, because it's right, because they will be like, they'll have metrics and backgrounds that are great, and they'll have the mic, and they'll be like in a suit and tie and all that. So we might as well enjoy this Wild West while we got it, because it ain't gonna last very long.
Hey guys.
Oh, Colin. Hey Colin, how are you
doing? Not to pivot back to the subject at hand, but when I saw the subject, and I was listening to you guys earlier as I was getting squared away this morning, and it strikes me that we can blame Stephen King for all this.
Why can't we blame Stephen King?
Well, in 1982, he wrote a book called The Running Man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then in 1987, Schwarzenegger and who was it, Lee Marvin? I can't remember who they had as the host. Anyway, were in a movie of the same name.
Yeah.
In 2001, well, actually in 1996, ABC put together a pilot of a reality show which involved people being hunted by trackers and required to complete tasks during that hunt. In 2001, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon promoted a similar show, which didn't involve people hunting the people, but actually just trying to spot them. In 2010,
Colin, let me interrupt, Colin. Have we reached the age of the actual snuff film? Do you think, like the snuff film, the mythical snuff film is?
I don't know. I don't have the answer to that one, but
okay, keep going. I'm sorry. I just had to find out.
In 2010, a similar show was produced in South Korea, and it's still on, as far as I can tell. It's been on for 5 years since Saturday mornings. Interesting choice, yeah. But yeah, that someone actually takes it to the next step is not entirely surprising, because they can, because they assume they're going to die anyway. So why not?
Yeah.
Why not become famous before that happens, or become famous before you get caught? And being famous in prison is probably better than being not famous in prison. Maybe. I don't know. But are there some sources I can look at for this, or is it?
I haven't heard about this.
You can join Johnny Boy if you wish.
Darryl, what's the source? Can you give us some direct us toward the source? Do you have a link, Darryl? Darryl.
No, I don't have a link to the incident that happened, but you can easily.
Oh, I was Googling it for about 10 minutes.
Sure.
I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I haven't heard it. It hasn't hit the mainstream press. Like I checked Twitter and it's not trending. So
I might be having some connectivity problems.
Yeah, we're hearing audio cut out a little bit. Daniel, you there?
so
Yeah, I'm in.
A gentleman with no
Yeah.
connectivity problems. Well, while Darryl sorts out his issues, what are your thoughts?
Do you hear me?
Yes.
yes, we do.
What's the question again? Sorry.
Oh,
Well-
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We're trying to sort out whether or not something like what's in the subject here could actually happen and has happened. Whether these things show up as urban myths, and then they go and make reality TV game shows out of them, or what?
I don't know. All things can happen, actually.
Anything could happen. Yeah, well, there are a lot of crazies in the world, and I suppose that's certainly true.
That's true.
But
So something that Darryl suggested was that Periscope be moderated in some way, but I don't see that being practical in any way. Because it's just, if it goes mainstream, that would be so many streams that it would be difficult to like figure out who was using the service and who was not.
yeah, it doesn't seem really practical to moderate Periscope, or what you were saying, Periscope or Blab? I think you said Periscope.
No, I was thinking Periscope.
Periscope.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't seem practical.
Yeah.
Periscope, I don't know that I think it's gone mainstream. I guess it's not really gone mainstream.
No, I'm saying it's going mainstream.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's not practical to moderate them. On the other hand, you can easily do voice recognition and so on, apply voice recognition against the audio streams, and pick out keywords and that sort of thing pretty relatively conveniently. So in that sense, it doesn't matter whether your stream is recorded or not. You're announcing a viewpoint and people hearing it. So that's useful, and it's also risky. But without putting my tinfoil hat on, it's you have your own TV show. It doesn't matter how big or small the audience is. You put a viewpoint out there. Is that something you really want to do? Who knows? You want to participate in a game show where you're hunted as a victim or you're a hunter? I don't know. I don't think so. But then again, there are a lot of crazy people out there who volunteer to do just about anything.
I think the focus is too much on hearts and stuff like that. I think it's more important that there's content on the streams.
More important that there's what?
Important that there's content on the stream.
Well, everything is content. The issue is the quality and nature of the content. What type of content would you prefer to see on these streams?
Not sure. But some things maybe. But I watch also live scopers on Periscope. But it's kind of been a while since I Periscope last.
So, Sheldon, did you say you interviewed Chelsea that we met yesterday?
Yeah, I interviewed her in my morning show, and I was trying to do traditional journalism. I was trying to like interview a celebrity, because like given what she did yesterday, relative to this little service, she's a celebrity.
Yeah.
It went pretty well. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun to go back to the roots and just have a traditional interview of somebody.
Yeah.
She was a good interview. But the thing that really like sort of blew my mind today is this young lady named Melissa in Kenya. Man, watch out for that girl. She is going to dominate this service, because she's got it all. She's beautiful. She's smart. She can carry on a great conversation. She's personable. And I think that we're going to hear a lot about her in the immediate future.
And where did you come across her?
She is